Alright, so it's a new YouTube video. We're doing a new video. If you haven't heard, we're doing a new video. Um, for starters, KMFDM sucks. Alright, this is the worst band in the fucking world. Anyway, I want to talk about this guy that I work with. Right? There's like a. Well, I gotta close this window because I don't really have fucking hear me. Alright, there we go. So anyway, I got the opportunity right now. I want to talk about this guy that I work with. So when I started working where I work right now, this guy, what happens is like every night they throw you in a different section of the store. There's basically 3 zones. So they throw you in a different section. They're like, "Oh, you're working here tonight. You're working here this night." It's confusing as hell. But we have a great team. We have like the best team in the business. I think I said this in another video, like, and I've probably even done this whole fucking thing in another video, but I'm just saying, I the emotional reactions to. I'm gonna end up crying by the end of this video, probably, but anyway, I'd like to go to another store and see like what their night crew is like. Um, but this guy, he knows how to do everything, and I feel a certain kinship with him because the pain that I've experienced, it's different than the pain that he's experienced, like actual like extreme physical pain. He's an MMA fighter. Um, and he was in the Bulgarian military when he was 15. All right, but I love the guy. I would prefer to work with him every night. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes he has a night off. Sometimes he's there, but they throw me in a different section of the store. Um, but like, there was one night I told him I had problems with him. I was getting pissy with him one night because I had to get used to like whoever you work with, you have to get used to. You have to like you have to get to know them and get the way get used to the way that they work. And I just didn't understand at first. And then I was like, all right, I'm kind of starting to get this guy. Like I get it. And so we worked that out. And there was one night I told him, I was like, like I called out on a Sunday, and a Sunday for us is like an easy night. There's no trucks coming in, so you're just making stuff look nice, or like dropping pallets or whatever. And I ended up coming in on that Monday, and he was like, "Oh, you're a ghost. You showed up, Johnny." And I was like, I care about you guys. I don't, whatever team I work with, whoever my team is, I care about you guys. I have to make decisions. Like, if my back is fucking killing me and I wake up, my alarm goes off, and I'm like, I'm just like, there's no way this is happening, then, I mean, it is what it is. It's like, there's nothing you can do about that. I, it's just like I don't care enough. about the job. If it were FedEx, it would be a little different. But, this is the job I have now. And if I wake up and I'm like, there's no way this is happening, then that's it. There's no way this is happening. So I just don't go in. I call out, but like, it's still a mark on your record. I've been there for like almost 4 months now, and I haven't accrued any vacation time or any sick time even. But they've given me more breaks than this is what happens at every job I work at. Like they end up just giving me like more breaks than anybody else, and I feel kind of bad about that. But at the same time, it's like, John, one day at a time. That's all you can do. You just do one day at a time. You make judgment calls based on how you feel, and at the end of the day, if they fire you, they fire you. That it's exactly that. And I was trying to explain that to my managers. They didn't. I don't know if they understood what I was talking about, but I just told them like one day at a time. That's it. Um, I gotta figure shit out for myself. Obviously, it's inconvenient if like you have somebody scheduled and they don't show up. Um, but I just told them straight up, like that's how I do things because that's the only way anybody can do things. Some people, I, I mean, I'm working with some of these guys are like 60 years old, and they're just like, "Yep, time to go to work." And it's like I don't know how you like. Maybe they're in good health, or their body isn't killing them, or whatever. But they just go to work, and so I try to figure out things for myself, and having the knowledge and like the logic that if obviously if you don't show up a bunch of days, then they're probably going to fire you. Uh, I just try to go one day at a time. Anyway, um, so I've been working with this guy for the past couple of months, and he's telling me all these things. He's like, Johnny, I don't have friends. And I'm like, all right, I get it. You're like isolated, but there's a certain kinship there because I feel the same way. I feel like I don't get along with anybody ever, and like whatever team I'm a part of, I'm part of that team. But I'm not, I'm not close to anybody really. I'll bust balls and I'll joke around with people, but I'm not really like part of that team. You know, it's just it's a weird like it's so complex as it's not even you can't put it into words, or at least I can't put it into words. Um, like that's my team, but that's not really my. I don't know these guys. I don't like. I try to get to know them, but they're not. We're all like working individually, basically. Um, and like even me and this kid, CJ, were talking last night, and we were trying to figure out like we were talking about this new kid, Mike, and this kid's got a lot of family that works at that specific location with the company, and we were talking about him, and he was like, "Yeah, he's got to step it up," and I was like, "Well, I mean, he's not that bad. He's just he's a little slow, but I mean, there are some other guys in the building who are a little slow. I mean, if nobody's ever read like." nobody's ever read like fucking Charlotte Doyle. Um, we're kind of like the crew. Like forget like remove Charlotte Doyle, remove her from the whole fucking picture. Um, that has nothing to do with it. Like, but the crew that she was on board with, we're pretty much like that motley crew of people. Like, we're all just broken men, just like working a job, and I don't know. You gotta go one day at a time. And so anyway, let's get into like the actual meat of this video. So last night, um, I mentioned this guy Chris, the crazy Bulgarian. You know, I mentioned that like I care about those guys. Like I care about all of you guys, and you know, he took that very seriously. And he comes up to me like regularly, and he's like, "Hey Johnny, you don't show up Sunday and Monday. You call up. Uh, is it because you don't want to work with me?" And I was like, "Nah, it's just I just gotta go one day at a time, man. That's just how it is. I gotta make a judgment call. I gotta figure out like if I'm gonna come into work or not. If my back's killing me, if my car's dead, like whatever the fuck is going on, I gotta figure that out for myself. And I know it fucks everything up for the rest of you guys, but you know, it's basically three zones, and like me and him, and there's an older guy too, who I don't know what the fuck his schedule is, but because he's like there like one day a week. But anyway, the three of us, we bang it out. We get it done. Chris is dropping shit. Crazy Bulgarian driving around on a fucking forklift, and he'll just drop shit, tell me where it's gonna go, and then I got the pallet jack, and I throw it in where it needs to go, and that's it. And we end up getting the job done. Like last night, he leaves early too. He leaves at 6. I leave at like 7 or 8. Everything, everything was done. That like we completed the entire zone. So that's 1/3 of the store that's done. You understand? Like some nights you might be in zone 1, and I don't know, we could have like 5 people over there, and we're still not getting everything done. And it's mostly because of the back wall. But me and Chris, forget it. The whole thing's done. That's it. So when the main manager comes in the morning at 6 o'clock, he's gonna walk down those aisles and he's gonna go, "Oh wow, they did such a great job." And he's never gonna actually say that, but that's on his mind. Um, because there's no way you can't deny us that. Like we got the two of us got the entire fucking thing done. Um, but yeah, I said to him last night. I was like, he said something, and then I was like, yeah, with the dream team. And he goes, oh, I don't know about that, Johnny. And I go, I didn't mean anything like homosexual or anything. It's just like you just relax. Like I'm just saying, like he tells me what to do. You know, he says frog, I jump. That's because I'm so used to that like FedEx mentality where I used to be like a leader. Like I used to make the decision. So, in the absence of that, if he knows what he's doing, he tells me what to do, and then I just, all right, yep, boom, 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 yeah, just take care of it. But he's so isolated that he doesn't, like, shit doesn't register to him. So I don't think he understood that the right way, but I ended up explaining to him, it's not, it didn't mean anything like homosexual or anything. I'm just saying, like, what, the two of us can get the whole fucking store done if we needed to. Um, I don't know. There's so many, like, the cast of characters over there. It's weird, but he um he had to work with one of the new kids. There was one new kid who only lasted one day. He was like walking around with his hands in his pockets. I think I told this story too, but um, there's another new kid. Has a lot of family there. They threw him over into that zone on a night that I was off, and Chris was like, "No, no, this isn't happening. Nope, not working with this guy." So he actually requested that I work with him. These are the kinds of things that, if you work hard and you care about your job, you have people like staunchly defending you. I like Chris would walk a mile for me, and that's great. Um, and I'm glad to work with him. I feel more comfortable working with him because he knows exactly what he's doing. He just drops things where they're supposed to be, and then I just throw them in where they're supposed to be. And then I Gucci store. He calls me Gucci store because I front face all the products. And he's like, Johnny, we don't have time for that. And I'm like, no, we do. The shit's gonna get done. Like we back and forth so much, ridiculous. But he and I can get everything done. Some of the other people, like that kid CJ was telling me, like, yeah, Mike's a good worker, but he's gonna step it up. Because I mean, when you throw like him, Mike, and then like Dave in the same zone of the store, that they get it done, but it's like the point is like to you gotta have most of the shit done by the time you go to your first break. Is the main takeaway from this. Me and Chris can do that. Some of the people that like CJ, if he's stressed out, he's just not getting. He's just like fuck this. Like he'll do the work, but he'll just be like, I'm not worrying about all this shit. I'm not gonna stress out about it. Um, that's the difference between me and a lot of other, like, what they do is they end up putting all the same people who have that attitude in the same section, so that section doesn't get done. Like me and Chris, we have the same idea of whether it's the FedEx and me or the Bulgarian and him. We get like we feel stressed. We're like, we gotta get this done. All right, let's do it, and we end up getting it done. And the shitty thing is that like last night, Zone 3, complete. Complete. There is nothing else to do over here. And there's like, yeah, just try to zone a little bit. And like, there's like a shitload of, like CJ's buried. There's a shitload of pallets. Like, can parrots? But like, Shouldn't I go over there and help him out? Like, this is the FedEx in me. I don't understand how they do this. Like, if FedEx, it would be like, okay, I'm done. This person needs help. So you go and help him. I don't get, like, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, like, a couple weeks ago, I told this guy, Chris, like, he, he goes, Johnny, you don't show up Sunday and Monday and make me feel like you don't want to work with me. And I was like, nah, man, I just call out when I need to call out, and that's how it is. And I told him I like moved the pallet for him or something. I forget what it was. And I told him I care about you guys. Like you're my team. And he like went around the corner and cried. And I was like, wow. This Bulgarian guy he was in the Bulgarian military when he was 15 years old. It was like a sentence or something. I don't know. I don't understand how communism works, really. Uh, but and now he's like an MMA fighter on the side. And I was like, holy shit. Like, if fucking moved the mountain there, huh? But I don't know. I feel like I have a kinship with him. Like we're a good team. We got our anchor at the end doing the freezers, Aaron. And then sometimes Wayne shows up and he's in that section. But he suggested, he was like, Johnny needs to be over here. And that's good because we have like then we have a 4-person team who can just rifle through that fucking entire zone. But then you have like, I mean, like on the other side of the building, if you have like CJ is not going to tell anybody to step up, but he was saying like this kid Mike's going to step up a little bit. He, it sucks when you see how things could work out better and you can't do anything about it. And the managers, they're all great. They're all great managers. But if you tell them, if I go to like Nick and I say, "Oh, hey, how about this?" He's gonna go, "Why don't you just stick to what you're doing?" And it's like, oh, like that's the FedEx in me. It's the FedEx in me. FedEx won't leave me. It's like just there's all this shit that has to be done. I know how to do it. I know how to get this done correctly. Where to put people, and this is because I used to manage. So it's like, oh god. And then the general manager comes in the morning and he's just like he's pissed. He's just like, oh, this looks like shit. And it's like, oh, all I want to do is make everything nice, so that like when he comes in, it's like everything is perfect, or at least the best we can do. Maybe not everything is perfect, but at least like most of the things are perfect. Like if me and Chris can complete one zone by ourselves, that frees me up to go to another zone. He leaves at 6. I don't understand this shit. We're only filling out hours. We're not, it's like, all right, yeah, you're stuck here till 8 o'clock. It's like, well, all right, give me something to do. Like, it's ridiculous, but they want to keep you in the same zone. And you know, I like the company. I'm not griping about the company. It's just, and I'm not even griping about like the management at the particular location that I work at. It's just that people aren't people aren't like looking into this kind of shit, I look at every single detail of everything going on, and I try to do my best, and I don't give a fuck about I'm not asking for a raise. I want completion. I want everything to be done. Because that's what the general manager would want. And they're just like, I don't know. I love my managers. They're great. But they just don't, they lack like a sense of accomplishment, I guess. Some of them try, like last night, there were two managers. There were two managers like in the middle of our section, and so I was trying to zone the aisles and get the pallets done. But there were a bunch of aisles where there was a bunch of shit laid out. So I had to go and ask Chris. I was like, "Are these? Did you drop these, or like, are those just sitting there? Like, what am I supposed to do with these?" And one of the other managers, Sean, he's just like, "Yeah, I'll work around it if you can." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll try." And I did my best. But then there was like a whole other aisle that I didn't even touch because there was too much going on in there. And they're like banging hammers, like trying to put up like shelves and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not even convinced they're doing anything. I think they're just banging on metal for the fucking sake of, making them look like they're working. I don't know. We got a lot of good people there. We got a really great team, but when you start seeing how things can be like way better than they are, and nobody gives a fuck, it really fucking sucks. It really does. It's like it's comical. It's a joke. Like that's why I see why like certain people that I work with, they come in and they're just like CJ, Dave, Tommy. They come in and they're just, oh, you dropped the pallet. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Zone a little bit. Like everybody's like lethargic, and I'm so used to being like, like it's like the fucking military or something. Like just boom, boom, boom. We gotta get this done. That intensity, that urgency, and like working overnight in a retail store. It's a bunch of old guys, a couple young kids trying to find work. And people just go at a slow pace. They're milking it. They're trying to fill out hours. And FedEx, we're working like 4 to 5 hours, which it's better now than I'm making, especially with hazard pay, that I'm making like a lot of money and I'm working a lot of hours. That's fine. But I want to get shit done. I don't want to. I don't want to fucking joke around. Like at FedEx, it was like, just all right, yeah, punch it, just fucking get it done, and we would just bust our asses and get it done in like 5 hours. Like all that freight, like way more freight than what we pick up every night. We get we get two 53 footers every night. I talked to one of the drivers. He was like, "Yeah, we got like maybe 40 pallets on there." I was like, "Oh, that's not bad." I mean, I don't like the idea of like just filling out hours. And I don't understand why. Like, if I ask to leave early, they're like, sorry, we can't do that. I was like, well, you're constantly complaining about payroll, so what? Can I just like do a bunch of work and get the fuck out of here? Like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. All right. That's why I end up going in, and I'm lethargic, just like everybody else. When I go on break, I'm like fucking drinking in my car. Like I can't handle this shit. Smoke like 3 cigars on break. Take like 4 shots out of a bottle of gin. Ridiculous. But anyway, it's good to have good team members. I'm glad I work with that guy, and I'm glad that he mentioned that he wants to work with me because we're a good team. Although, what I was saying earlier is that I worry about the entire building. So it's good that me and him can get everything done in that section of the store by ourselves. But you could put 4 or 5 people on the other side of the building, and it's gonna look like shit at the end of the night. And it has nothing to do with like those people, but they don't coordinate. There's no communication there. Like you put somebody in the water aisles, all right, they'll get that done for themselves. But like when I work with this guy, we're a team. So he drops shit, I throw it in. When you're looking on the other side of the store, and if you look in the middle, like the middle section, they usually put the same 2 people there because it's split up. We don't touch like clothing or anything or books or anything. So there's seasonal and then there's snacks. And so you got one person for each of those sections. And it's only about 5 or 6 aisles per person. So they can get those done easily in 8 hours. But when you look at like zone 1, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, people try, like, CJ pulls his weight. And like if you put Dave over there, Dave definitely pulls his weight. I don't know how he does it because whenever I work with him, he seems like he's slow as fuck. But um, somehow he gets it done. Like it's like behind the curtain shit. Um, but like you got a new kid over there, CJ's not gonna talk to him. Like you get the wrong like I don't know. We need like one more solid person to like if Mike steps up, or like we get just all we need is one more solid person, and we need them on the right days. We need them scheduled on the right days. That's all we need. We get it done. The managers, they don't. There's work to be done, and they'll like, excuse me. Um, at least most of them, if they see what needs to be done and it's not being done, they'll help out, which is great. Um, but there are a few that just don't. They, like I was saying, the 2 managers just banging hammers all night, just like banging on shelves, and it's like, I'm really past the point of being convinced that you're even doing anything. Then all of a sudden, like I got like 15 minutes left on my shift, and they're like, "Oh, if you don't mind touching this up, that would be great." Like I'm getting, one of the other managers just gave me another project to do, so sorry, bud. I can only do so much, and then they tell me, "Oh, you're gonna make sure you're off the clock at exactly at 7, because we got payroll." And I'm like, okay, it's just shit that's not gonna get done. In the end, I'm going back to FedEx, but for now, at least I'm collecting some pretty good cash, and They can try to light a fire under my ass, but I'm not really obligated to bust my ass. So I'm making out pretty good right now. Nah, yeah, that's pretty much it.